So we're also doing the spark plugs while we do the oil and everything else on the engine. So these bottom ones are really easy to take out. Unfortunately, the top ones, you have to take out the whole inlet manifold. So we're going to have to do that later on. The spark plugs were pretty bad. So even though it looks like it was working, it's pretty corroded. And if you look at the thread or the bolt part of the spark plug, it's pretty old. So it may not have been changed for a very long time. So I'm going to do all of the spark plugs, and hopefully that'll make the engine run like new again. Okay, next step on the Alfa is to try and get the spark plugs done on the other cylinder bank at the back of the intake there. So in order to do this, you have to take this entire intake out, and at the moment that involves undoing all these clamps. So we've got a special set of pliers just to try and undo these clamps and help to do it up again when we're finished. So you just want to put the pliers into this little gap in here, and then you basically just twist in the opposite direction of the little tab that's holding the clamp on. So you just twist and then it comes off. It's a good idea to have some extra tools for this sort of job. Yeah, so you have to undo all of these little hoses as well. Just use the same technique. Get a pair of thin pliers underneath it, and then just put it up, or try and pull it up. Yep, just like that. Sorry, I'm trying to hold the camera at the same time. Oh, that one was really easy to undo. And then just pull those out. There's two bolts that's holding it in. I've already undone them. So one of them's down here. That one there. So you got to undo that one. And then there's another one in the same spot on the other side. Sorry, not that one. Right there. You'll be able to see them because they have little rubber grommets right underneath. So it looks like you have to undo this little bolt here as well, because this is all connected to the intake manifold. And also disconnect this hose, which goes to the water bottle. Just trying to get all these hoses off. This one's proving to be a little bit difficult because it's quite a solid hose, not very flexible.
I guess you undo that one, isn't it?
You could try and undo that one, yeah. Okay, we figured out that you have to undo this bolt as well, because this bracket that's going into this junction box is all attached to the intake. So undo this bolt, and hopefully that's all you need to do. Okay, so we've undone everything, and it's just a matter of pushing it forward, or sorry, pushing it towards the back of the engine, and then it should come undone like this. And you can see the coil packs and the spark plugs just underneath. So we'll figure out a way of getting this out of the way and then do the spark plugs. Right, okay, after about an hour of removing everything and trying to get rid of all these hoses, I finally managed to get the intake off, and we're just going to leave it on here because otherwise it's really hard to actually put it back in, especially because of this overflow coolant line. So we're just going to leave it on here for now. I put a rag on top of the inlet pipe so it doesn't scratch, and we're just going to do the spark plugs at the back of the engine. So it's a 5mm Allen key that you're going to need, and there's actually 4 bolts on each of the coil packs. For some reason they decided that they're going to put a lot of bolts in there. Usually it's only 1 or 2 bolts, but Alfa's decided to go with 4 just to make sure it's secure. And there's actually a washer on each of these bolts as well, so be very, very careful when you're taking these off. Don't lose all the bits. And then once you take that off, it's just like a normal coil pack. Cool, so we've taken one of the coils out, and the spark plug is just down there in that hole, and we're just going to take that out next and replace it with a brand new spark plug. So this is one of the new spark plugs for the Alfa Romeo. We've got the NGK Laser Platinum, and the model number is this one, PFR6B. Now these are gapped correctly from the factory, but if you want to check the gap, it is actually 0.7 millimeters. So I'll just show you the new spark plug. That's the new spark plug, and the gap is 0.7 millimeters. We have a gapping tool. We've actually checked it for all the other spark plugs, so it seems like it's the correct gap from factory. So you're going to need a 5/8 socket, quite a large socket, to get this spark plug in and out. I'm not sure why they use such strange sizes, but they just decided that they wanted to, so there you go. So it's a 5/8, and you can see that seats quite nicely in there. So just get a really long extension and a breaker bar. Just gently loosen up the bolt for the spark plug, and then you can just undo it all by hand. Oops, haven't got enough hands, hold on. You just loosen it up and then undo the rest by hand. And it should be pretty easy to get out. Right, there you have it. That's one spark plug out. Yep, you can see that that is definitely a pretty old spark plug. And you can see the model number is the same as the one that we are putting back in. Right, so we've got one spark plug in. So you just want to do these up hand tight. Don't do up your spark plugs too tight because you'll screw the thread. And also it will be really hard to get them out again. So we're going to do the same thing for the other two on this side. And then we're all done with the spark plugs, and you can put the intake back in as well. So once you put the plug back into the spark plug hole, you just want to put the coil back in there as well. There you go, make sure it's nice and centered when you put it in, and then it will make contact with the spark plug. And now we just need to do the bolts up.